Now, the final piece of technology that makes every part of the synthesizer work together, it's signal routing. There are a handful of different ways to use signal routing to create logic and move signals to different places. The first example is the selector object, which can move audio data from different inlets to one outlet. So the saw, now the cycle, now the rect, now off. The switch object does something similar, but instead of audio, it uses non-audio data. So if I turn on this metro, it is sending bangs to the counter, and it's going to the inlets. Currently, I have it set to the counter. Now I can set it to the random, or I can set it to the MIDI value of my keyboard knob. Moving to the gate object, you can send audio signals to one audio signal to multiple different outputs. And the same thing applies for gates for non-audio control. So if I have this setup where I can control a slider, it's currently going to the number box. Now if I set it to 2, it is controlling the speed of the counter. And if I turn on volume here and set it to 3, it can now control the volume of this rect object. Moving on to sends and receives. Currently, I have this sub patch open. If I start this metronome, this metro object and start the counter, I can send the value into this send object and then use the receive of the same name to receive it anywhere in the patch. These two are global. The sends and receives are global, which means that you can have any number of these receives, any number of the sends, and they all work together across any patch that is open, including subpatches. I have a similar thing set up, but instead for audio. So if I turn this on and open this back up, currently I have a rect going into the selector. I can change it to the cycle. It's being sent down to the send object. It's being received here, and then it's going out to the speakers. So using a combination of all of these, I create logic and control across my synthesizer. But the ultimate form of signal routing that I use in my synthesizer is these matrix objects. How the matrix works is kind of a combination of both gates and switches or select objects. I'll first demonstrate using this cross-patch object versus this matrix control object. I have multiple sine waves set up into multiple inlets of this matrix object. I can then control where they come out of, either the left or right speaker, using this cross-patch object. So I can set the 100 cycle sine wave to the right, 440 to the left. I can also send 440 to the right, 330 to the left, 220 to the right. The matrix control function works the same way, but in a more compact and streamlined way. So I have 100 the different cycle frequencies here and the outputs here. And by selecting the frequency and which output I want, where they meet up, it sends the signal to the matrix to make that connection. One thing that I noticed is that this array looks similar to the launchpad that I have. I wondered if I could use that to set up the control of the matrix instead of having this graphical interface, and it turns out you can. So it was a online package that did a lot of the work of connecting the launchpad to Macs, but then a lot of my work to get it set up. So this is what the patch looks like. And what that allows me to do is press a pad on my launchpad, and it creates the connection on the matrix. And this setup right here is basically what my own synth does, just a little bit more simplified. So here I have the exact same synthesizer setup that has the filter. So again, MIDI into the MC note allocators, ADSR, and filters. That output is then going into the matrix. And there's a handful of different audio effects that it could also go to. But currently, I will set it up so left and right of the synthesizer are going, the synthesizer is going to the left and right speakers. And now if I press notes on the keyboard, you could hear the notes out of the speakers. If I were to get rid of them and press notes on the keyboard, nothing comes through. But what I can do, in addition to just sending the synth sounds out of the speakers, I can also send the synth to the delay module, and then the delay module goes to the left and right speakers as well. Now if I press a note, the original note goes out of the speakers, and it also goes to the delay module, and then the delay module then goes out to the speakers. I can also have it go to, instead, the reverb, but there's no reverb on that because I need to have the reverb go out of the left and right speaker. You can even do some more wacky things, such as have the synth go to the ring mod, and then the ring mod go to the reverb. Now the reverb will have the ring mod sound. And this is the basics of how I control what sounds come out of the synthesizer, as well as what effects should be on each sound.